Now. Alright, and recording should be back online. So hello, people of the internet, it's I, Soul Rock Dragon here, back with more Fate Grand Order. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on stream, yeah, this is going to be happening a lot today, because we're starting Traum. And today, on YouTube, is going to be Part 1. / Prologue, if there is a Prologue portion, which it looks like there might be. Prologue, or A Study of the Perfect Human. I'm just calling it at this point. Alright, so let's see what this is all about. Thoughts on what constitutes a perfect human? I mean, okay, but that's kind of vague, isn't it? For a start, we'd have to agree on a definition for perfect before we could even discuss this. An excellent point, then allow me to take the first crack at it. A perfect human is one who makes no mistakes. Let us set aside matters like overcoming hardships and making the impossible possible. We may then define a perfect person as simply one who makes no errors in judgment. Okay, works for me. Does that work for me? Also, expect for me to get somewhat philosophical and go off on tangents, if this is the first time you're tuning in to one of my actual story things, because I tend to do that a lot. What constitutes a perfect being? A perfect human. So what is the definition of perfection? Perfection would imply no mistakes. So would a person who has made no mistakes be perfect? Does a person who has made no mistakes, is that enough to be considered perfect? I mean, it kind of depends, because the definition of a mistake could also be argued, because a mistake could lead to something else occurring that has a better outcome. Like, it was a mistake that X-rays were discovered because, I can't remember his name. He's got a German name, I think. He had a candy in his pocket when he was walking through his lab, and that's how X-rays were discovered, because it melted in his pocket. So he made a mistake in having essentially sweets with him in a lab environment, but it led to the discovery of X-rays, which have revolutionized the medical field. And that's just one example. I mean, all sorts of mistakes can lead to great things. Like, how many inventions were made by mistake? And I mean, yes, this is asking about the definition of perfection. This is more an economic problem than a realistic body. True. So I guess, not thinking in the way of a human, a perfect company would be a company that has made no mistakes. But even then, that doesn't sit right with me, because if you make no mistakes, that doesn't mean you're perfect. Because if you do everything perfectly and you make no mistakes, that does still mean that you could have caused harm to others. Because making no mistakes does not mean that you've done no harm in the same breath. Because maybe the only way to do things right would be to cause harm to somebody else. You know? And it could be considered a mistake that you had to harm somebody to get this result. So perfection is not something... Exactly, doing harm is a moral failure. So it is a mistake. A perfect being... I mean, a perfect human would essentially be somebody that's doing everything perfect in a simulation. They would have to be completely isolated with no impact on everything else as a whole. Because, I mean, I'm a proponent of the idea that one thing now can cause a cascading effect down the line. You know, a flap of the butterfly's wings will set off a storm a world away. Hey, Jakester, welcome to the stream. Happy things. Cat Dragon Rider. Okay. Dobrynya is at the top of the leaderboards. I still have to add Kriemhild and Charlie to this, though, so... But yeah, I just got them. But welcome, Jakester, welcome. So yeah, I don't think a perfect human can exist unless they are essentially in a vacuum situation where they can impact nothing. Essentially. That would be the only way I could see a perfect human existing. Because perfect is not making no mistakes. It's making no mistakes, doing no harm, you know? It's going well. It's going well. I'm streaming more regularly now, and we are having a philosophical discussion in the prologue of Traum as to what constitutes perfection. So, you know, standard story stream for me. Okay, I think we've nailed down that making no mistakes does not make perfection. Even the most amazing geniuses or superhumans inevitably make errors in judgment. In fact, you could argue that the mark of a skilled, intelligent human being is their ability to resolve matters in spite of any oversights or mistakes they make. Hey, nice. I wouldn't say nice. I mean, nice that you get to watch me, but not nice that you're out of work. I'm in somewhat of a similar situation where I'm out of school right now. I will be until the new year, presumably, so yeah. Maybe fall, but definitely the new year. So yeah. Kind of in the same boat, but that's why I'm able to stream more regularly now. Oh, so college is... It's because college. Gotcha. But that wouldn't be perfect. Perfection is when you don't have any mistakes to make up for in the first place. Even if a person is average in every other regard, if their decisions are always correct, their actions, and by extension the person who performed them, would be perfect. I would argue against that statement. So that by that definition, that would make someone who never overlooks anything a perfect human. But the moment they do overlook something, however small, they're no longer perfect. Is that what you mean, Sion? Yes, that sounds right. It's a shame that a single careless mistake is all it takes to knock someone off the pedestal of perfection. However, were we to use your definition, Da Vinci, we would face a paradox. If a problem can be overlooked by a so-called perfect human being, then that problem is more perfect than the human. That is a good point. If a perfect human being who makes no mistakes can overlook something, then that thing that they overlooked would be more perfect than perfection. Assuming it's equal to the task of deceiving a perfect human who never makes a wrong decision anyway. Oh, but in that case, maybe it's a situation where it only seems like someone made a mistake. But in reality, they simply chose to overlook the problem. That kind of brings me back to what my high school science teacher said. The only time I was wrong was when I thought I was wrong, but I was actually right. He said it as a joke, but... So, rather than making a mistake, they overlooked the mistake. No, that still would be that making the mistake tangible, so it would still be there, even if they overlooked it. In other words, a case where the perfect human deliberately overlooked the problem in order to be perfect. The problem in this case shouldn't be solved at all. In that case, overlooking the problem would be the correct choice, the perfect choice for our purposes. But at that point, I guess we're just arguing semantics, huh? Are you done with the side chatter? The Stormboarder will be leaving the Arctic Circle soon. You two aren't just passengers, you're technical and special advisors. It's your duty to make regular status reports, even if they don't have much new. Oops, my bad. You're right, Captain. We did, in fact, originally come to give you a report. Then let's allow us to explain Novum Chaldea's current situation with and our next steps. Recap! It has been several days since the British lost belt vanished. We've successfully brokered peace with the immature beast, Kolyanskaya. However, immediately following this, we were attacked by the foreign god and lost our temporary base in the Wandering Sea. Fortunately, all of Novum Chaldea's staff managed to escape to the Stormboarder. We struck back at the foreign god, that is, you, Olga Marie, with the same gravitational destruction she used on the Wandering Sea, confusing her long enough to... Well, I would like to believe that her not coming after us means our plan was successful. Unfortunately, she is so far beyond what we would consider normal that it's impossible to be certain. At any rate, Both Spiriton Calculation Engine Trismegistus II and Near Future Observation Lens Sheba have been brought aboard the Storm Border, and now serve as Chaldea's flying base of operations. That is the situation in which we now find ourselves. Now that we've escaped you, Olga Marie, we are currently using Trismegistus II's prognostications to move between different safe zones. Despite encountering our share of difficulties at our various stops, we continue our flight even as we speak. Yep, we've been crisscrossing the Eurasian continent, east and west. Of course, we occasionally touch down to convert the few remaining buildings to Spiritons and stock up on resources. We ended up hiding out in the Arctic Circle for a pretty long time. Unsurprisingly, it was freezing there. I can't say I cared for that. I'm not built for cold. Oops, I had a feeling you might have been freezing there. Sorry about that, Captain. I hope you can give us a break on that. Trismegistus II suggested it was the safest place to lay low. I know, and it worked, since the foreign god hasn't attacked us here. But things changed yesterday, right, Captain? We're just about done weaponizing the essence of the sacred sword we obtained in the British Lost Belt. All that's left now is to simulate a few necessary tests. So Commander Gordoff, our administrative advisor, Holmes, me, the technical advisor, and the rest of Chaldea's staff have all agreed that it's time to leave the Arctic behind. Our next destination is the foreign god's base, South America. That's where we'll have our final showdown. At long last, we're passing through North America to the final Lost Belt. Yep, I just gotta look at the Sacred Sword's armament name too. The whole Nemo series thinks that's great, including myself. Right, it's admittedly a little hyperbolic, but that's just part of its charm. You know, why not just make it... You know, why take the essence of a sacred sword and turn it into an actual sacred sword? Don't turn it into something else. Turn it into a freaking sword! Like, seriously. We just make it a sword. We have so many sabers. Sigurd literally punches his swords at supersonic speeds. Just turn it into a freaking sword. It doesn't need to be some fancy schmancy mystic code. It just needs to be a sword. Anomaly detected. Anomaly detected. Errors in Trismegistus II's prognostications and Sheba's near-future observations recorded. New undocumented case obstacle in Novum Chaldea's plan to defeat the foreign god detected. Steep decline in proper human history's verification levels on this bleached earth confirmed. If it made that into a sword, becomes Excalibur, which brings its own set of problems. I mean, you know, if a random caveman could use Excalibur to defeat Velber, then the Master of Chaldea, who has part of their soul, you know, ingrained into the Black Barrel, the conceptual killer of gods, should be able to wield Excalibur. Just saying. It's easier to shoot a god than shank. Okay, that's fair. Sulphonic, you bring up a fair point. It is easier to shoot one than shank them, but still. Future threatening interference with the past confirmed. To be fair, most sabers don't shank their enemies. Most sabers beam their enemies. All Chaldea staff prepare for ray shift sequence. Sheba's observations indicate this massive singularity may be the single greatest direct attack on human history. You know, I'm pretty sure the incineration of mankind was the greatest single attack on human history. Something tells me that, you know, Goetia threatening to literally blast himself back in time might have been a greater threat to human history. That's just me, though. That's just me. So section 1, that was all the prologue. That was all the prologue. Oh, that was all the prologue. Alrighty. My only friend is the Coffin Maker. No battles for the first part of section 1. The true saber in Fate Stay Night was Kojiro. That's a fair point. I'd say Okita qualifies as a true saber, because she does not use beams. Artoria is just a bad wizard. I mean, I guess. She was even beaten by another wizard. Or witch, I guess. Thinking out loud. Can't understand Are they alive? Are they dead? Are they standing? Sitting? Do they care for anything? Wish for anything? Pray for anything? They understand nothing. They know neither suffering nor joy. They have no concerns, but also no relief. Only hunches and chills tell them the end is coming. And so they die out here, miserably, meaninglessly. But something buried inside them kept them alive for just a little longer. So please, try to remain human, as you should, till the very end. Turn not to prayer, but to song. It is all can do. I just got chills. I don't know why. That sight gave me chills, but I got chills. Thinking out loud. Yes, that's right. I must be a traitor. I've betrayed both proper human history and sincerity. It must be my incompetence, or maybe it is how capable I am. At last, the day my sins, my evil deeds, and my duties all come to an end, shall arrive. Here, beneath, Reichenbach Falls. Reichenbach Falls, that's a Sherlock Holmes thing. That's a Holmes thing. It's, if I remember Holmes stuff, I don't remember what source it's from, but he supposedly falls down the falls and dies, but doesn't actually die. I'm pretty sure it was actually in, Now I wonder who was monologuing just now. I mean, it could have been Sherlock. It could have been Holmes. But I want to say Moriarty was involved in that event. I want to say that it was Holmes and that was one of Holmes and Moriarty's clashes was at Reichenbach Falls. So here's what you need to know about this massive singularity. The era is somewhat unstable, but we do know it's sometime after 1700, within a margin of at least 100 years. Must be a traitor. He dies against Moriarty, then gets retconned. I knew it was those two involved. We can never truly know. True. It was a jumping the shark moment, I think, essentially. So, it was either Moriarty or Holmes that was monologuing there. And I don't... Is Holmes a traitor? I don't think he can be. Because Holmes was around during the time of the incineration. Because we encounter Holmes in the Jerusalem/Camelot singularity, and he was at the Atlas Institute. And that was pre-Alien God. That all happened before the Alien God occurred. Though, again, I'm kind of going back to the whole Camelot thing with how the British Lost Belt was sort of a parallel world. It was wasn't a Lost Belt, it was a Lost World, because stuff drifted between our reality and that reality. It drifted between realities. I do think Holmes, back in the Camelot Singularity, even mentioned, do not say anything about this to Romani. Didn't he? I want to say Holmes said something about, don't tell Dr. Romani about this interaction. I'd have to go back and check. The location is presently unclear as well, but based on the vegetation we've discovered, we can rule out the Far East, Africa, and Europe. Our best guess is that we're somewhere in America. America! Magical energy levels are not as high as in the Age of Gods, we're seeing tremendous fluctuations in the readings. The magical energy ripples are so numerous that it's like observing a pond on a rainy day. Frankly, it leaves me thinking anti-army noble phantasms might be popping off like fireworks in this singularity. And then, there is the foundation of humanity rating, error. Someone on that boat can't be trusted. What makes you say that? Ouroboros? Was that a quote from something earlier on? I honestly can't recall. Error, not the EX rank that signifies non-standard values. Correct, it doesn't even register as non-standard. It was a quote from Goetia. Oh, did that happen in Olympus, then? Wait, no, not Olympus. Atlantis. But that wasn't Goetia, that was Romani. Romani was back there. Again, actually, I don't know if you were around back then, but back then... No, see, I had the theory way back then, when we first saw Romani's reappearance, that by returning his rings to God, he became reincarnated as an angel of God who can only follow orders directly, like he did when he was King Solomon. So, the Romani that was in Atlantis is our Romani, but under the direct control of God to not interfere. Yeah, that's my theory, you know. That's my theory. You'd have to go back to get the full thing, but I remember going off on a very long tangent about it. Generally speaking, the smallest of the minute singularities are ranked E-. Any lower than that, and they wouldn't qualify as singularities. Maybe it's just a bug in the system. I hope so. Either way, I'll continue to monitor both the reading and the singularity as the situation develops. The point stands that at the moment we have many questions and precious few answers. Then we're essentially in the dark, which means we won't know until we go. I hate to just fly by the seat of our pants, but I don't see that we have a choice. Fortunately, Holmes is one of the servants best qualified for this particular race shift. Fortunately indeed, Holmes. Fortunately indeed. Once you get there, I'm sure you'll be able to get to the heart of this mystery in no time. Right, Holmes? It's quite a responsibility, but you may rest assured that I am up to the task. Uncovering the truth is the very essence of a detective's calling. Glad to have your Baritsu on board. How very welcoming of you. That's all you have to say about the singularity, yeah? Then I'll take it from here. You'll have one other servant to accompany you on this mission. Though I'm sorry to say, it won't be Mash. No, Mash! Right. I'm afraid the Ortonex is still undergoing maintenance. In my capacity as technical advisor, I really can't allow her to reshift until maintenance is finished. But she's got the Galahad power back! She is Fairy Knight Galahad. You cannot tell me that only exists in the British singularity. Lost Belt. Lost World. I'm not surprised. All those arduous battles in Fairy Britain and Tunguska could have easily thrown her spirit origin a bit off kilter. Okay, Tunguska, I guess. You know, fine. Foo foo! Foo foo! Foe's not coming along either. No, Foe! The good news is we're still planning on reshifting MASH once the Ortonex's maintenance is done. As for your other companion this time around... Vlad. Hello? I'm trying to think. Has Vlad had any story relevance since the first singularity? I don't think he's been any... Yeah, I don't think Vlad has been in any singularities or the like since the first. You need to continue dragging this out. It is I. Count Vlad. Indeed, this is a weighty responsibility, but I shall do my utmost to discharge my duty. There are a number of other servants beside Count Vlad who are matched for this reshift, but we can only send 3 in total. Since we're going to send Mash later, that leaves us only able to send 2 for now. Since Holmes is already allowed for one position, that left only 1 slot open for the last servant. I was chosen after a peaceful discussion. Peaceful in this instance means only a bare minimum of blood spilled. Sounds like we decided the winner by fighting to the death. Master, I know the singularity is full of mysteries, but I urge you not to lose sight of our ultimate objective. Becoming emotionally invested in our enemies can lead to lapses in judgment if we are not careful. But I suppose there is little point in telling you that now. You are our master. Do what you wish. I will remain on standby in my spirit form. Call for me if you need anything. I, for one, feel better already. As a matter of fact, we'll also be reshifting one more very special guest. You said only 3 servants, though. I did, yes. But the presence of another master will give us a much wider range of options. Sion, does that mean... Director?! Right, I should have seen this coming. No, I'm not going. I'm still the commander, in case you've forgotten. I think we could make that work if we wanted, but let's set that possibility aside for now. This is the second master who will be joining you. And look who it is. One of the traitors. You know what, Caddock? I have Summer Anastasia, and she likes me better than she likes you. Yeah, Caddock Zimlupus, Master of Team A, reporting for duty. Caddock, but you're one of the cryptors. Yeah, I actually know that, but my lost belt is long gone. And I obviously can't escape to Olympus anymore either. Surrender is pretty much my only choice here. Not that I expect you to trust me just because of that. Hell no we don't. No we do not. That's okay. I'll just have to prove you can through my actions. Collar? Oh, he does have a collar. Didn't think it's by you, eh? Go on, Sion. Tell him. Sure thing. That's an Atlas Institute-produced Mage Killer collar. Oh, I know. I know Ouroboros. But still, Caddock doesn't know that. All he knows is Anastasia is in Chaldea. She likes to wear a summer swimsuit / dress, and she likes me. You know? That's all Caddock needs to know. That's all he needs to know. Just have her say some lines. Semantics, you know? We can coach her. Mage Killer Collar. We'll be monitoring Caddock during this mission. If he tries anything funny, the collar will activate and completely destroys magical circuits. Of course, anything funny includes trying to remove the collar himself, or you don't want to kill him. But if he tries to use the collar to intentionally destroy his magical circuits, that is what it'll be. Be careful when using Magecraft too, since any unauthorized spells could trigger the collar as well. Damn, that's a pretty dangerous collar. You guys are brutal. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Good job, Sion. But fine, I can deal. Caddock. Yeah. Why are we so happy-go-lucky? He's not Wudame. Wudame and Pepe were bros. Ophelia, she helped us out in the end. You, Senpai, she won me over during the summer. But Caddock? No. You've done nothing to earn this goodwill, Caddock. Nothing. Yeah, okay, first piece of free advice. Mages shouldn't be quick to offer someone our hand. Our hands convey a ton of information. He's not our senpai. We've been a master for longer than he has. Far longer. You're a master too. You should know how important the hand with your command spell is. He's such a typical mage that he's making me remember I'm actually a mage too. Oh, Gordy. Oh, Gordy, you are awesome, Gordy. You are not a typical mage, Gordy. No, you are not. Soul might be a great master, but he was never really trained as a mage. So I hope you'll keep giving him tips as time permits, Caddock. I will. What about a serious light, Miss Sion? I was unable to remove it, but please keep that to yourself for now. Understood. If the fallen god could activate the Sirius lights remotely, she would surely have done so long ago. There's little to be gained by letting ourselves become overly concerned. Yes, good point, and since the Sirius light is still technically a command spell, the collar should suppress it before it can activate. Granted, we would prefer to avoid testing that theory if at all possible. Okay, Sion, that's it for me. Anything else before we send them off on their way? Yes, just one last thing. We were able to extract some keywords pertaining to the singularity from a hieroglyphic prediction. Not a problem, Revolt. Eyelid, eyelid. Revolt. Blink, blink. Eyelid, eyelid. So yeah, blink, blink. It's not a problem. Go ahead and revolt. Wink, wink. That's my guess, at least. I'm afraid I have no idea either. All we can say for certain at this point is that we absolutely cannot afford to overlook anything in this singularity. And that it's on the same scale as the 7 singularities. I know this might feel like a setback now that we're finally about to take a crack at the 7th Lost Belt, but it's just like Sion said. We'll dispose of this massive singularity no matter what. Prepare to reshift. Roger, roger. That was part 1 arrow. Oh. Unknown record. Foundation error value. Life and death of an illusion. No matter the time, place, or prevailing ideology, there is no venture more difficult to succeed in than war. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Death comes regardless of race, gender, or age. The talented, the hardworking, and the lucky all die with shocking ease. When living beings die, they become lumps of inanimate meat. But servants don't even get that much. When they die, they vanish without a trace, as if they had never existed at all. Death. Its coming is so mundane. It's enough to drive one crazy. Both heroes who saved their nation and anti-heroes who have harmed countless people are dying for reasons unknown, as though it were completely natural. War. War never changes. It doesn't matter how much the times change, or how far civilization advances. The final stage of negotiations is 2 sides killing each other. They have but one goal: rebellion. Not against a king, a god, or even the world, but against proper human history itself. So ooh. Do you understand why you've been called here? The castle was an unbearable place for the summoned servants, seasoned by battle. Any ordinary person setting foot inside it would be driven insane by its bloodied glamour and pitch-black madness. That madness was personified in the beautiful woman who stood before them. No, Lady Kriemhild, I can't think of anything that would. Kriemhild is one of the enemies. Okay. Interesting. Her name was Kriemhild, the queen from the Nibelungenlied who swore revenge for her husband Sumunai's murder. Desertion in the face of the enemy. Allowing an enemy to escape. Disrupting the battlefield as part of a relentless pursuit. Speak. I retreated because Ryder disrupted the battlefield. If I had stayed, I would have likely died. That wasn't an enemy. It was just a child. A technical error on my part for one, and one for which I apologize profusely. I see. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Only the Rider lives. See, apologized. If we had held out, the city would have fallen, but my men wouldn't have died needlessly. The penalty is death. Archer, there are no children on the battlefield, Even if there were, they would be servants. If even that escapes your understanding, then you shall die as well. That's a fair point. You know, some children's servants can be friggin' terrifying. As for you, Ryder... Oh, no, he still gets ganked. But why? You pretended to be contrite, hoping to save your life because you know what I'm like. I have no need for one so shrewd and self-serving. Curse you. You're just a woman driven mad by revenge. Do you think that is a revelation to me? My, once again you've made quite the bloody mess. Is cleaning up messes not your job, Jiangzhu? Indeed it is, or rather it's my puppet's job. Go on then, get to work. Do not recognize this dude. Those are some jacked puppets! How go things on the front line? A deadlock. Still, his talent for defense is almost maddening. Well, he is a renowned hero for a reason. Oh, my apologies. How fare things on your end? I've been mustering my Taiping Jing and my knowledge of puppet soldiers to the best of my ability, but it is still going to take some time. I'm looking him up so I can read a little bit about him in between, or during battles. You may have all the time and money you need. Just be sure you succeed. Fail, and I will have no choice but to cut off your head, too. Oh, then I'd better give everything I've got, eh? Well, no matter what. What about new servants? It seems some new ones were just summoned not too long ago. I believe most of this batch went over to the opposing factions. And what about the Righteous Realm? Has it moved? No, it still hasn't budged. The only activity we've seen from his subordinates is scouting maneuvers. I see. He must be waiting to swoop in after the dust settles and claim the spoils for himself. They aren't so weak that we could overrun them all at once, but we can't ignore them either. It's a most vexing position to be in. And in consequence, we find ourselves into this deadlock. Infuriating. Indeed it is. How the assassins continue to keep an eye on them. Yes, my lady. And one more thing. Your Zodiac star was twinkling earlier. Zodiac star? It means someone who will have significant impact on the singularity is about to arrive. Namely... Chaldea. I see, so they're coming. They're really coming. Oh, what to do? What am I going to do about them? How can I best make them suffer? How can I best make them grieve? In the end, I'll behead them, of course, but before that, I must be sure their punishment is truly spectacular. How dare some common mage use us as familiars? Please, calm yourself, my queen. They're still prisoners of war, and our society's rules do technically demand that we treat them hospitably. I never consented to playing by any such rules. I don't treat you guys as familiars, Grimhild. You guys are people in my Chaldea. Oh, very well. Have the Chaldeans monitored until we know more. I'm afraid we don't have the scouts to spare. Then recall some of the assassins we sent to spy on the Righteous Realm. Have them keep an eye on the Chaldeans for the time being. Understood. Are you guys done talking yet? Salome, I'm surprised to see you out of your torture chamber. It's Salome's first story appearance since she was released. How many years ago was it? When was Salome released into the game? It was in... I'm trying to find out when she was released. Let's see here. Salome in Type Moon. I can't find out when she was released. It was a long time ago. No friends this time? I'm sure there's plenty of friends. Torture? I don't know anything about that. I just want heads. That's all. Oh, never mind. Now, what is it? What's Chaldea? Well, to make a long story short, I would say they're our enemies. Nothing more, nothing less. So you're gonna fight them? I'm going to kill them. Oh. Well, if you have any important heads you want to keep, would you like me to hold on to them for you? I'll consider it. I doubt I will, though. Really? That's too bad. Okay, I'm going out for a bit. Why didn't pick you up anything? Maybe some, sachet torte? It's really good. No, thank you. Okay, bye. Are you sure she should be allowed to run about doing as she pleases? That's the way of life she sought as an anti-hero. There's nothing to be gained from denying her. The important thing is that she's a strong fighter. Let her have her fun. Good one, Creamhill. Good one. She's like a, what, 1 or 2 star berserker, I think? She'll be blown over by a stiff breeze. As you wish. The preparations for the experiments have been completed, Lord Jiangju. Great, I'll be right there. No, if you'll excuse me, my queen. How irritating. This is all so irritating. Chaldea, the king, the emperor. I can't stand any of them. It's all that hero's fault. I might just fall apart if he isn't summoned soon. Come on, come on. Hurry up, hurry up. Summonize at Chaldea, Creamhild. Wow, this is a very long part 1. That concludes my report. Sir! Hey, it's Konstantinos! Thank you, Lancer. You may go. Yes, sir! And someone I have no recognition of. Yet more heroes' lives have been needlessly lost. Please don't be sad, Your Holiness. As the Pope... The Pope? You are right to grieve, but that is as far as it should go. Alright, I'm looking it up. Female... Pope. Joan. Oh, Johanna? As in, Persona? Yep. Okay, cool. Johanna. Joan. Interesting. Another Phantom Thief servant is in Chaldea. Or will be. These heroes are all willing to lay down their lives to bring you victory in this war. I really don't think I'm worthy of such a great sacrifice. One cannot determine their own worth. That is for others to decide. You may deny yours, despise yourself, or blame yourself for your undeserved fairy tale of fortune all you like. But we, your loyal subjects, will continue to love and respect you. Is that such a burden? Honestly, yes. Yes, it is. Well, that's a problem, then. Personally, I'd rather die happy and smiling than continue on like this. I'm sorry, Your Holiness, but we're not about to let you die. We all pledged to keep you alive, and I consider it my sworn duty. And that right there is exactly why this is such a burden. But fine, whatever. I don't care anymore. Whatever happens, happens. But can I at least ask you one thing, Emperor? What is it? Those atrocities you and the others are committing, are they all to make my desire come true? Okay. Wow, that's kind of unexpected for a pope to say. I guess maybe popes in the time of the Crusades, maybe they might have brushed it off, I don't know. But still, that's just a weird mental image. Hey, a great figure of goodness and holiness saying, hey, those atrocities you're doing, they're to make my dream come true, right? Okay, cool. That's just really weird conceptually. Or are you putting your lives at risk because you want to do these things? That's a difficult question. If that really isn't what you want, then I can offer you my own life, for what it's worth. As the Emperor of a dying empire, I doubt it will be much. I know, you're right. I hate to admit it, but part of me does yearn to see what happens next. No, I must see it. I have to. Is that the voice of your lord? I don't know. My lord's messages can, at times, be complicated. Enough that an insolent like me can't help to understand them. Then again, it could be that I... That's enough, your holiness. Only discord and blasphemy lie that way. Well, that's rude. I'll have you know I understand my place very well, thank you very much. Do you? I have my doubts about that. Alright. I'm going to go worship, like I always do. By all means. Don't wait up for me. I need to discuss strategy with my subordinates. Fine. Oh, and can I say one last thing? Try not to do too much evil scheming, okay? Oh, that's just a hilarious idea. Just the Pope coming up to you and just giving you a slight slap on the cheek. Try not to do too much evil, okay? That's just a hilarious concept in my mind. It'll ruin your good looks. Oh, Pope Johanna's gonna be interesting, isn't she? Well, I'll be damned. I guess it's no accident Her Holiness was appointed Pope after all. But I'm afraid I'm not done with evil schemes just yet. We're here, Your Imperial Majesty. So are these just like the generic servants, then? A generic saber. Good. Let's begin with your report. Yes, my liege. As a medium-sized force from the Revenge Realm attacked us 3 hours ago, they attempted to seize the Tower of Trigonio for themselves. Fortunately, the 30 Archer-class servants who had stationed there drove them away by unleashing all their noble phantasms at once. Let's see, so it played out just like I expected then. Yes, my liege. Unfortunately, 10 of our other servants were killed when they tried pursuing the retreating enemy forces. I thought I told them to maintain our defenses, not to give pursuit. You did, my liege. But several Rider, Berserker, and Lancer classes decided to disobey orders. They were clearly trying to steal a march on the enemy, and... Sir, you're one of the servants who violated the chain of command and went off on their own. Yep, a saber. Forgive me, my liege. If you could do it all over again, I trust you would make a different choice. Yes, my liege. Do you expect mercy? Sorry to scare you. I understand. As a warrior, instinct drives you to take advantage of opportunities for glory in battle. I couldn't ask my soldiers to suppress those instincts any more than I could ask them to stop breathing. I forgive you, and I ask that the rest of you go easy on them as well. This should go without saying, but achieving great things is your top priority. Even if that means occasionally disobeying orders. Yes, my liege. Very good. Next. These two were caught fighting. You know that fighting between servants is forbidden, especially in this realm. I therefore sentence you both to the rear guard during the next battle. Alright, you got your sentence. Now move! So Berserker and a saber. I'm the last one. Oh, I'm surprised to see you here. You've always been such a model soldier. What would one of Alexander the Great's own have done to get in trouble? Well... Oh! Unforgivable. You've done the one thing that is absolutely forbidden in this realm. We will not tolerate proper human history. Only rebellion is permitted here. There can be neither collaboration nor mercy with the enemy. I thought you understood that when you chose to stand with us. But where? Yes, we are heroes. Beings who struggled against, who were swallowed up by, or outright disappeared into the flow of history. The shackles binding us to protect humanity are gone, and I cannot forgive proper human history, though I admit it is a completely one-sided grudge. Nonetheless, this realm is a home for those who share that view. Something must have gone wrong with you when you were summoned. You're the ones who've gone wrong. Perhaps, but I cannot stop now. Okay, So I'm guessing he does not remember being trapped in an office building with us. I'm off to worship. Leave me. Yes, my liege. Yeah, he probably does not remember being trapped in an office building with us. I'm not wrong. I'm not lost. Normally her prayers would be for others, not herself. Prayer should be for others, for something larger than oneself. That is how it should be. Through devotion you prove who you claim to be. But this time, her prayers are for herself. Her sins are not sins. Her atonement is not atonement. And yet, paradoxically, that devotion is the only thing bearing fruit. It is that paradox that brings her suffering she is powerless to stop. Please, grant me salvation. She murmured her wish under her breath, unsure to whom she should direct it. I'm sorry I'm late. Oh no, it's fine. I only just began praying myself. Is something wrong? It's nothing. Alright. I think I'll pray for you next. She prays to help shoulder the burden of his sins, even if doing so stains her own hands with blood. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But as sorry as I am, I can't think of any other way. And the final realm? That concludes my report. According to the caster's analysis, the other two realms' battle ended in a painful draw. Damn, so they didn't get beyond skirmishing. I guess they're still just as wary of us as ever. What do you think, Roland? So Charlie is the head of another realm, huh? Of course they are. Our faction may be the smallest, but our forces are just as strong as theirs. If we were to attack them with everything that we've got, we'd walk away with the lion's share. And above all, our realm has none other than Charles the Great. Yeah, who cares about Kriemhild and Constantinos? Charles the Great is the only true emperor. You hear that, Your Imperial Majesty? I do. We fear neither vengeance, crazed queen, nor the emperor who failed to protect his nation. Is that... Hang on. Is that ruler Charlie? So, is actual Charlie gonna be helpful, but this Charlie is not? Interesting. So says Charles the Great. Oh, that's our emperor for you. Indeed. We will wait until the very end before we make our move. A true emperor should never act in haste. I'm looking up... because that doesn't look right. Bring up his external link. Carl de Gorbe. No, that's actually right. Yep, okay. Yeah, that's, okay, so we are dealing with Carl. Carl der Grob is one of our enemies. Lovely. Charles also says tell the assassins to dedicate themselves to their training and step up their efforts even further. It shall be done, my liege. Either Roland or I will head out next, Your Imperial Majesty. I see. Roland, go get him. I'm honored, my liege. I'll leave straight away. Hey, Roland, don't forget your sanity this time, okay? That only ever happens to you. So, how's it going? Wasn't easy, but we survived another day. What a relief. You did great, sir. Are you sure? All I said was indeed and I see. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes even a few brief words can speak volumes. And frankly, if you were to say more than that, your imperial aura would be somewhat diminished. Is it just me, or are you saying I'm not much like an emperor? It's just you. If you say so. But never mind that for now. The scouts are getting increasingly nosy. We won't be able to keep this charade up for long. With the renown of Charles the Great refusing to show himself for so long, people will naturally assume that he's either gravely injured or harboring some awful secret. But if I just pranced on out there, they'd cut you down before you could say hello. Well, that sucks for us. This is no laughing matter. You think? Because it seems to me like all we need is for something to happen that'll keep them from suspecting the king. Say, for example, a fourth faction showing up. I've got a hunch that things are about to change. Now's our chance, so we should send lots of scouts to make sure we don't miss it. Your hunches do seem credible. Alright, we'll send out the scouts. Let's add riders and casters. Riders and casters to the usual assassins. Our defenses should hold for a while, even if we assign them to the other classes. I hope you'll help us too. You got it. Sir. Yes. I feel this will be a crucial turning point for you. Please try to stay on top of things. Of course, I'll show them exactly what I'm made of, or my name isn't Don Quixote. No, I don't want to fight you, Don Quixote. Childhood memories! No! You're getting into perilous territory, sir. Remember, if they discover the truth, they'll have your head on a spike. So you must be cautious and bold. Is that clear? Indeed. Now then, if a fourth faction is about to get involved, it would have to be them. I wonder what's going to happen. Not Don Quixote. No, don't be an enemy, Don Quixote, please. No. This is a very long first arrow. Okay, that was weird. But this is a very long first arrow. Very long. Freaking, ow, that's hot. So that's how ray shifting feels, huh? No, that one was a bit odd. Quite right. There was clearly something different about it compared to the usual ray shifts. Well, this is my first, so I've got nothing to compare it to. And you're supposed to be our senpai? Right. I'll just have to trust you guys to figure out what's wrong. Master, are you able to contact Chaldea? Yes, Smash here on the comms for Chaldea. Are you okay, Master? We noticed there was an odd tremor during your ray shift. We're fine. That's a relief. Right. I can confirm that you and Kadak are both unharmed. It looks like Holmes and Vlad made it there as well. Excuse me. According to Sheba's observations, there should be a small town nearby. Is that where we go first? All in all matters, we begin by gathering information. We must learn all we can, even if we must take a few risks to do so. Well, that's the textbook answer. Well, first let me ask you something. Can you use suggestions? Suggestions. Guess that answers that. So this entire time you've been going around, running your mouth, knowing the locals will think you're either crazy or dangerous. Well, at least his Mystic Code does have some H-craft built in to dispel some of that incongruity. Really? No idea that. Me neither. Seems like the kind of thing you probably should have told him about sooner, but whatever. Alright, I'll use charm suggestions on the locals. You can think of what to ask them. I don't like that. So where exactly are we headed? The town is due north of you. Then let us be on our way. It's a shame we don't have any horses. I'll bring up the rear then. Sol, Kadak, you two stay in the middle. Sure. Holmes. Oh yes, my apologies. I'll be right there. Holmes, you're being sus. A clear blue sky that seems endless. A gentle breeze rustling pleasantly over the plain. Everything is quiet and peaceful. It made a horrible feeling of dread take hold and refuse to let me go. It was not Catexem Lupus who experienced that feeling. Nor was it Sol. Or Vlad III. Or even Sherlock Holmes. Who was it? But despite her misgivings, she still had no choice but to send Sol and his companions to the Singularity. Interesting. Okay, so this is the Three Kingdoms then. Please don't tell me we landed in Revenge Land. We landed very close. Okay. I wish I could zoom out more and get rid of the extra stuff. Okay, cool. Alright, final arrow of section 1 at long last. This has been a long section. Very long section 1. Very long indeed. So much for getting information. Whole town's been destroyed. And completely deserted as well. This won't do. There's something here that troubles me more than the lack of people. How accurately can you analyze these debris, Mr. Zemlupus? You want me to analyze it, like measure how old materials are and stuff? Just so, while I do have some degree of familiarity with the subject, I can only do so much. Certainly nothing compared to analysis that deploys complex magecraft. We needn't settle for my amateur attempts, since we have a mage with us. Now I see. Not really my specialty, but I can give it a shot. You basically just need me to figure out this stuff's archaeological period, right? Yes, that will do nicely. I suspect that this debris was created through magecraft rather than human hands. Magecraft? Well, I say debris, but I mean the entire town. But let's wait for Mr. Zemlupus to... I skipped to... I couldn't read through this. But Mr. Zemlupus' analysis, before I say more. Is this some kind of joke? What is it? The short version is that Holmes was right. This whole place was made with magecraft. Probably a caster's territory creation or something like it. A normal mage would really struggle with something like this, but a caster could do it pretty easy, I think. This town would seem to be a mid to late European design. But as I suspected, something isn't right. While it does appear to be deserted, as Count Vlad said, I can discern no traces of anyone ever having lived here to begin with. The hell are you talking about? Think of it like a movie set. There are faint signs of use, but nothing like the wear and tear one might expect to see over time. I don't know if it was a mage or a servant, but someone built this whole town in an instant. That is my working assumption. I see. That's unusual, but not outside the realm of possibility. Then let me ask you something, Detective. Please do. Even if a servant or someone similar to one did create this town, what destroyed it? Well, we can certainly rule out wildfires as well as any other natural disaster. What we do see are holes, likely from arrows, in the walls, nicks from swords and other blades, and ruts from wagons laden with heavy supplies. A scene we are all too familiar with. Servants fought a battle here. I thought so. Master, everyone, please be careful. I just picked up some servant signals and they're headed straight for you. Hold on, getting a total now. There. Mash. This can't be right. Da Vinci? I see it too. This isn't a malfunction or any kind of glitch. Soul, listen to me very carefully. There's an army of servants closing in on you. An army, eh? I did. There are about 100 of them, and they're all servants. What? You know, we have our own army. Let me be certain I heard you correctly. You're saying these aren't beings that rival servants in power, but actual servants. Is that right? That's right. I rechecked the readings several times. Now hurry up and get out of there or hide. No. Now I'm seeing another servant army. It's about the same size as the first. Another one? 200 servants might be a little bit of an issue. It would seem that 2 armies mean to surround this town. Please hurry. They'll be there any moment. Alright, let's hide. Kadak, Master, since neither Count Vlad or I are assassins, I doubt we'll be able to completely erase our presence. And if we stay together like this, they'll be even more likely to find us. I would like you two to hide somewhere separate. Count Vlad and I will find our way to get through this. If worst comes to worst, use a command spell. If nothing else, it will allow me to turn the situation around. Roger, roger. Also, there is something I would like to ask of you. Something Count Vlad and I will be doing ourselves. What's that? Pay attention to the servants headed this way. Try to find out what they're thinking, and what they're trying to accomplish. What we need right now is information. Every action they take, every word they speak, could be invaluable. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Soul. Then we shall meet again later. Bye, Holmes. He might be a traitor. This ought to be far enough. Now let's dig a hole to hide in. Bring in rubble. Good idea. This should be big enough to hide us, but not so much that it looks out of place. Cool. Yeah. You know, I guess running away probably wouldn't be the best idea here. That should do it. Okay, Soul, get in and stay put. A mouse's hideaway, a cat's shortcut. At times, shallow thinking can trump wisdom. What was that? A camouflage spell. I don't know if it'll work on servants, but it's better than nothing. No, I think actually nothing would be better than this, because if you're using active magic, then a servant is going to freaking detect that, Scatic! You kidding me? It's one of the most basic spells there is. I haven't even been able to cut down my chanting time for it, so it's too slow to use on short notice. But I guess that doesn't matter now. And we have some soundproofing built in, but keep your voice down anyway. Heard there's different schools of magecraft. So what, you want to know more about mine? Why not? It's not like it's going to last much longer. Hell, it's practically dead already. And it's not like telling you about it's going to change anything. It's anti-beast magecraft. Spells meant for fighting, well, wild beasts. Humanity has always been its own worst enemy, but beasts are a close second. An ordinary person can never beat a wild beast with its bare hands. So it's not really a shock people came up with magecraft to help with that. So you can probably guess how it fell into decline, yeah? Not much need for spells to track or chase animals these days. Plenty of substitutes for that. Of course, these spells can still come in handy against wild beasts, but then there aren't all that many of them out there anymore either. That's what happens to all magecraft eventually, though. Spells change when the times either becoming crazy strong or so weak they're useless. Ever think about giving up being a mage? What? No, I can't believe you're even asking that. Next piece of free advice. Asking any normal halfway decent mage that question is a fast way to die. You're basically telling them, your whole life is pointless, why don't you just die already? I wouldn't say that. Not much I can do to you right now. Not with this collar. Sorry. That was uncalled for. I should probably work on how snippy I get. One of these days. Anyway, I think we've run out of time to talk. I tried to get us as far away from the town center as I could. Now we just have to hope they don't find us. They're here. According to our scouts, we'll be facing another medium-sized force. The plan is to hit them with a full volley of our archers, noble phantasms, while the riders flank them on both sides. The sabers and lances will keep them pinned down in the center and attack while the riders have them confused. Make sure you all have your noble phantasms ready to go when you need them. I can't believe it. They really are all servants. What do you think their true names are? No clue, but they're all from different eras and countries, that much is clear. So how the hell are they operating as a single army? Damn, I can't believe it. What the hell kind of singularity is this? For that matter, how can there be this many servants? Ley lines, even holy grails can only summon so many. Could they all be rogue servants? The ones without masters? Yeah. You must have run into several of them across all the singularities and lost belts you've been to. I'm talking about servants that are exceptions to the rule. The kind summoned from their ties to the land or a holy grail. Remember Beowulf in the Russian Lost Belt? He was a rogue servant. But even if that explains how they got here, it doesn't explain how there could be so damn many of them. I mean, there's 200 servants right here between the two armies alone. No wonder the town didn't survive. Yeah, we might not be safe here. Hopefully, I picked a spot far enough from the battlefield. At least they're not actively looking for us. So screw it. At this point, que sera sera. So you're not just giving up? Maybe a little. Sorry. I'll try to remember that we've got a common interest now and act like it. Looks like they're about to get started. Excuse me. Archers, at the ready! That's Kriemhild's forces. They have the red badge. This is Constantinos' forces. They have the blue. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now! Command spell loaded. Activate Noble Phantasms. First Phantom Spirit levels, then Heroic Spirit levels. Command spell loaded. Activated Noble Phantasms. Lightning Longbow. What? Berserkers got past. Archers to the rear. Hurry! That's the assassins. We've inflicted minimal losses. Damn, they must have heroic spirit level casters buffing them. Alright everyone, this is it. Hold your ground. Heroic spirit level. Keep your damn voice down. But yeah, I wonder what he meant by that too. So there's a difference between servant and heroic spirit then. Hold the line here too. Shit, can't hold on much longer. Keep shooting, buy as much time as you can. We're taking massive casualties. Riders, are you still not ready? We just arrived at the designated coordinates. We'll charge them right now. What the? What is it? A squad of assassins just ambushed our right flank. It's going to take some time to regroup. Left flank here, we can't get through the caster's bounded field. We'll need time to regroup too. Our charge won't be nearly as effective if we don't coordinate it. Damn it, I'll never be able to face Lady Kriemhild like this. Kriemhild. Yeah, I know about her too. She's a hero. No, a legendary figure. And those guys were completely on the defensive. What changed? Urgent news. The Constantinos army from the reinstatement realm is in disarray. Holmes, what'd you do? Nope. Roland! That's it. That's what I like to see. Alright, let's swoop in and take the spoils for ourselves. Maybe we should wait a little longer, like right until they're about to be defeated? No, let's not. The Revenge Realm's already been hit pretty hard. We need to at least get some good looks in with the Reinstatement Realm too. Now, let's go. That's it. Keep it up. We've almost got Kriemhild's army wiped out. I have an urgent message. Charles the Great's army from the Righteous Realm has joined the fray. They've struck on our rear guard from behind and sowed confusion among our ranks. Damn it, not again. They've got Roland from the Legend of Charlemagne leading them. They're mowing down our rear guard like grass. Retreat. Fall back to the Reinstatement Realm. There's no way you can win a fight on two fronts. Assassins, use your smoke screens. Archers, lay down cover fire to buy us time. Keep firing. Longbows, crossbows, guns, whatever you've got. Don't stop except to reload. Excuse me. Constantinos' servants are in retreat. It's time we followed suit. Casters, hold position until the riders catch up with us. Then I want you to alter the topography and cut off any would-be pursuers. Understood. That doesn't sound good for us. Do it. Mutate. Yeah, this doesn't sound like good news for us if the topography is being mutated. Kriemhild's casters have transformed our surroundings into swampland, Lord Roland. We could have our casters freeze the swamp and go after them, but I think that's enough. Both sides suffered heavy losses, and we got in a few good shots at the Reinstatement Realm's shoulders, too. The forces of Charles the Great's Righteous Realm are the only ones walking away unscathed. Now let's cheer our victory. I'm not saying that aloud! You almost got me, Roland. You almost got me. Yeah? Did he really just say that? Shut up, look, I want to say something to you, but this isn't the time. Must have been imagining it. Alright, troops, retreat. Tonight... Oh, Roland. Oh, Roland, you are one crazy son of a bee. It's alright, Mr. Soul, Mr. Zemlupus. You can come out now. That was a close one. They never came our way. I'm afraid you two were just unlucky. Unfortunately, that also means we couldn't overhear anything. Most of the town may be destroyed, but a few buildings are intact. Let's find one such building and review what we've learned. Okay, that was a very, very long Section 1. Section 2 is one arrow. Okay, so I'm going to pause the recording here for the YouTube folks. So, yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, then that's going to be the end of today's episode. Tomorrow will be Section 2 for you. So for now, thank you so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and a sub if you did, and you can always catch me on Twitch. I'm live fairly often. But yeah, thanks for coming out, and I will see you in the next video.